are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome to Talk Talk Live. On time today. Yes, on time today. We are live on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live here on IG and YouTube. Let me get my camera here and ready to go. Yes, indeed. Welcome back. How are you? I told you I'd be here on Tuesday, even though I wish I was at the Rogers Center for the home opener Toronto Blue Jays today. But I said, it's going to be too busy because they have all these new park stuff available to viewers and such. So I just said, you know what? Let me just represent my team right here on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Yes, I have it over here on the big screen behind me anyway. So I'm just gonna be checking in on it from time to time. So excuse me if I am slightly distracted today. I'm just gonna move this up a little bit. Yes, I have my authentic Blue Jays uniform on. I love my Jays. Love my Jays. Was there for 11. October 23rd, 1993, 11:39 p.m. If you don't know what that time is, if you don't know where that, what the significance of that time is, date and time is, it's the time when Joe Carter hit one of the greatest home runs in Major League history. I was in left field. I could see myself on the highlight reel all the time. And funny story, quick story. My dad has a friend, a dearly departed friend, Roy Filbert, and he had. And RIP to him and shout outs to his family. They had tickets to the Blue Jays. And I've always been a fan of the Blue Jays since I was a kid anyways. And I used to go down there during Exhibition Stadium till now. And quite simply, we had gone to playoff games before. But on this night, I got to go to the game because Mr. Filbert said, "You know what? This is going to go to a game 7, not knowing that we could clinch in game 6." And he gave the tickets to my dad. My dad took me, and the rest, as they say, is history. So I am a part of Blue Jays lore, and every year I used to get down to about 10 to 12 games regularly. So I'm going to say hello to Chanel. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? And we are back on Talk Talk Live tonight. In my Blue Jays regalia and my authentic Blue Jays regalia. Last time I wore this was at rehab last year, and that went down a whole massive treat. And again, we're going to get things started here with my Blue Jays losing at the moment. I think it's 3-0 right now, and my man Manoa's getting slammed. But let's get on to the topic. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live on YouTube, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting more and more by the day. Don't let me get these. I'll tell you, I have some. I have some reels. I have some shorts available that are going to go up on TikTok this weekend. I've made it an effort to make sure and make it a plan to make sure that those go up on TikTok because I want to get my viewership up. So that'll be happening this weekend. Rest assured. But we're back here on Talk Talk Live. We're going to talk about a controversial man and a controversial topic. Yes, Nick Cannon versus modern women. Now, here's the thing about Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is one of the biggest stars in Hollywood today, one of the biggest names in Hollywood today. There's no doubt about that. Nick, he has been a star in Hollywood for many, many years. And I'm just going to turn on my speakers. And me and my daughter will debate with you. Of course. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live today. Thank you, Chanel, for that. And here's the thing. Nick is, as I said, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. He's the executive producer of Masked Singer, which is a massive, massive hit. And he has created other shows like the Masked Singer, the Masked Singer series, and also Wild 'N Out. And he is a titan in the entertainment industry, but he's been going at this for years, and he's come up with successful concepts. Again, he's done hosting as well, with regards to America's Got Talent, and he left America's Got Talent a very cush job to start this Masked Singer, and he's become a massive, massive success. It's one of the highest rated shows on TV today. So shout out to Nick Cannon for his success rate, because not many black people in Hollywood have had his sort of success. So shout out to Mr. Nick Cannon for that. But with that success has come a bit of freedom. He had already left his former wife, Mariah Carey, with whom he had, I think it was 2 or 3 kids. And he said to himself, you know what? I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be. I'm going to select my women the way I would like to select my women, and if I choose to have babies with them, I will have babies with them ad litem, and he has had them ad litem to the tune of 12 babies and counting. And I do mean counting because he has said himself that he's not done. He's not done. Now I'm going to bring to light a few things in terms of why he isn't done, and why indeed he doesn't. And why indeed he loves having these kids around and his women with him. But also going to bring to light a reason why he has chosen this path in his life. There's a reason for it. Here's a reason for it. And quite simply, with these ladies, he has said he'll never marry another woman outside of Mariah Carey. And we'll get into that tonight. But there's a reason why. There's a distinct reason why he doesn't see marriage as being an institution that he should subscribe to. And we're going to get into this on Talk Live, but let me just get into the browser right now. So let's get into it. What inspired me today to do this show was this show here. Was this was the Celebrity Junk post from O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson doing wonderful things on YouTube for the Black Manosphere, for Black people, period, and also for Hotep people in general. But what captured my attention was Nick Cannon admits none of his baby mamas are worth being faithful to. So therefore, he doesn't want to marry, as I've already stated, he doesn't want to marry any of his baby mothers. Doesn't choose to do that. Doesn't choose to do that. And I think this speaks to modern womanhood in general. Nick, and we have a few comments already from now. They're coming in hot. Nick Cannon looking for publicity. Well, I wouldn't say he's looking for publicity. I think we'll go into the reason why he's doing this, quite simply. And some of them are, life-changing reasons, and also there are reasons in terms of, the modern world and the institution of marriage that he doesn't desire to, that only wants to have children and doesn't desire to marry any of these women. So let's get into it. And it speaks to modern women in general, period, and their state of being. So let's get into this right now. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
O'Shea Duke Jackson.
Sir!
Again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk.
Just to let you know where it came from, but let's go.
And that means if she got kids, you need to make a certain amount of money. You need to be a certain statue. You need to have all your ducks in a row to get this woman. Meanwhile, all she got to do really is just show up.
Okay, let's go back. Let's rewind that.
Especially if you are the average guy for the most part, right? You're the average guy, and I mean average in earning, average in looks. Polygamy is out the question. In fact, you have to do something to marry her. And that means if she got kids, you need to make a certain amount of money. You need to be a certain statue. You need to have all your ducks in a row to get this woman. Meanwhile, all she got to do really is just show up. So if she
Truth. That's the key towards modern dating and modern relationships, period. Women just have to show up. Women are born with value. Okay? Chanel, your daughters are born with value, and they're born with a lot of value, quite simply, to be fair and frank. Very, very valuable ladies indeed. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about modern dating in general. Women are born with value. Men have to earn that value. They have to make themselves the best men available so that they can deal with, indeed, a woman, let alone multiple women. Only top-tier gentlemen get a shot at multiple amounts of women, as Nick Cannon has, because he has the wherewithal, he has the financing, he has the stature, he has the star power, he has the nous, he has the je ne sais quoi to, procure a multiple amount of women, and none of them being angry. None of them. I have not seen one woman in his harem, and let's call it a harem because you got a few baby mamas here in his harem who are objecting to his ways and means and movements. Not objecting to it in the slightest, because you know why? Because this has happened from time immemorial. Kings, landowners, lords, any sort of man of power and status over time. If you have had that in your life, more than likely, you've had multiple women. Not only have you had a queen, not only have you had a wife, not only had a main woman, but you've had concubines. You've had many women in your background, many women in their background who can, be seen as friends of the evening, to be fair, to these modern women. We have a comment already. We say, I never raise my children to be, let me see. What's that? What's that? Oh, yes. Benefit off a man. Okay, right. If they need me, then I got them. Well, again, you're a mother who's very concerned, and I'm sure many of these women are very concerned. They have mothers, they have families, but who are concerned for their well-being and are there when they are needed for their well-being. But here's the deal. The fact of the matter is, these women, even though they're well taken care of, and I'm sure they're salt of the earth women, still fell for the seductive guise and glance of Nick Cannon. Why? Because this man has power and status. This man's a star. So no matter how pious your daughters may be, the fact of the matter is, if a Nick Cannon came knocking at their door, chances are one of these ladies may have their heads turned. In fact, most ladies will have their heads turned. And that's the state of modern women in and of the first place. And this is the theme of the whole show. Modern women would rather be a concubine of a rich man, have an affair with a rich guy, than be faithful with an average guy. Well, Chanel says hell no. No, it's actually true. Ask your millennial and zennial daughters these days if they would rather be faithful to an average guy or a jump off of a rich guy. And they may have a different story. Pick a better guy than Nick. Well, these ladies couldn't find a better guy than Nick because they know they'll never get a guy like Nick. Well said there, Nick Photography. Thank you very much for your comment. Her husband got her. Yeah, her husband got her. Well, indeed, he's an average guy, and she's willing to take that upon herself. And listen, that's what makes her that much more special. But a lot of ladies aren't that special. They aren't, unfortunately. They will fall to the highest bidder at a drop of a hat. That's Modern Womanhood 101. If a man has the ways and means, they'll look away from an affair. If the man has the ways and means, he can have 2 or 3 women and women won't get tired. And that's the long and the short. But let's continue this.
Shows up after you hit all those, because some of y'all might be short, fat, or whatever, ugly, whatever she may call you. Now you have a chance to be able to be a stepfather if you're lucky, right? Then some guys just show up. All seen this when we were coming up, Unfortunately, some guys just have it. Some guys don't. A guy can be tall, good looking. He ain't got to do nothing. You can be there all day. I love you calling in the morning. Hey, but when that guy calls, he get everything he needs. Okay, that's how it works. And these guys get special privileges. And there's different rules for different guys. I'm going to give you an example, Nick Cannon. Women would consider Nick Cannon to be attractive. Also, rich. And also, because of that, he gets a pass. He has 13,000 baby mamas. All the women that deal with Nick Cannon, know he's not going to be faithful to me. You know that going in. Before you have his baby, and he ain't going to marry you, because if he marries you, he got to pay alimony and child. So he ain't going to do it. All right? And if he's smart, he going to have his money in the business name and pay himself a certain small salary, so you can't get him for that much child support. They all know that this is going to happen. And he can explain why he don't want to be with one woman. All right? And this is within, stepping into the shade room. This is an episode, right? What did he say?
So before we get into the shade room, he's absolutely right. Oh, Shade's right. The fact the matter is, Nick Cannon knows about modern dating, modern marriages. And he'll say it later. They are not a force for men. The institution of marriage is not a force for men, it's a force for women. For women to acquire resources, a man, and payments, just in case that marriage falls through. So Nick saw this and said, you know what? If I'm a man of means, if I'm a man of power, if I'm a man of status, I'm going to break the code. So what I'm going to do is, and now again, this is a bit expensive. But he decided, hey, I want to make a family of my own doing, where I have multiple women, multiple children, and I owe none of them any alimony. They can't take half of my business, or half of my time, or half of my earnings, or what I built up to this day. Now again, it's going to be expensive to raise all these children on his own, but at the end of the day, he's not going to lose his fortune. And as my man said, he's going to make up an entity where he's going to make up a business where he pays himself, and distributes any sort of funding to these children. And all is copacetic. And the thing about it is, these ladies know what's going in, so all these women can't be wrong. They all agreed to this arrangement. They agreed to it. They said to themselves, you know what? You're the man. You're the high value man, so I'm just going to go ahead and agree to this. Because the ladies didn't have to lay down with these people. He didn't hold a gun to their head. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, he did not hold a gun to their heads whatsoever. He decided, hey, are you down with this plan or what? But at the end of the day, this is what I'm doing. I've already been with Mariah. She's the only one I want to be with or marry. So take it or leave it. And these ladies are taking it. And I mean, beautiful ladies are taking this. 8, 9s, and 10s are taking this deal. Hand over fist. Why? Because this is modern dating and marriage 101. This is it. Whether you like it or not, ladies, you say, oh, he's misogynist. No, he's so callous with his sperm, and oh, he's doing this and that, but he's living his life. He's doing what he wants to do, and at the end of the day, who are we to judge? Because he can afford to do it, and it's been done from time immemorial. Genghis Khan is known to have had, well, pretty much populated the Asian population over time. I think a fifth of the Asian population, I think a fifth or an eighth of the Asian population are related to Genghis Khan. This has been going from time immemorial. No matter what sort of gynocratic ideas and platforms and issues there are out there, this has been going on from time immemorial. He's just bringing it back. This ain't new. This is never new. Women may say it's messy, but this is not new. This has been going down for centuries, this sort of attitude, and he's bringing it back.
My focus now is my children, then my business. Stop the show right there. My focus is my children, then my business. Okay, so basically, not the women that I had the kids with. I used them for the booty clapping sounds. Kids came out. Now it's about my business. I literally don't have time. So I don't have time for none of you women that y'all laid down and had baby with me. I don't care that. That relationship energy, I don't have the bandwidth. So you ladies out there that y'all want me to take you, I can't deal with you. You know that up front. I'm gonna come through there. I'm gonna get those draws. We're gonna go ahead and knock you down, get you pregnant, and then I want my kids. I don't care about you. Okay? And I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to my family if I'm out here looking for love. Who is the family? It's the kids. You women ain't the family. It's the kids. I love the.
He's right. He's right, my people. The family are the children, not the women. He's cut those women out of the family mold. They are incubators. Literal incubators. He's made these women who have gone of sound mind and body, realizing that Nick Cannon is the father of their children, and he said, you know what? I'm willing to take this deal. And the deal was, as has been said over here, I'm just going to... No, hold on just a second there. There we go. So let's just go through this again. My focus now, my children, and then my business. He has cut out the middleman. Women are the middleman here. Modern women are the middleman. He doesn't care for their attitude. He does not see any signs of womanhood that he would like to focus in on going forward. Doesn't care. All he wants is his kids in his business. He's focused on his children and his business. I literally don't have the time. That relationship energy, I don't have the bandwidth. And then I feel like I'm doing a disservice to my family if I'm out here looking for love. It's a waste of time to him. All he wants is the sex and the babies. Give him that. Which speaks to modern womanhood. It speaks to it big time. Modern women aren't good enough to be wives for Nick Cannon. Not good enough. The last wife he was, she was a Gen X girl. Remember, Mariah's in her 50s now. Was the last good woman he found. Of these young ladies, he could not care less about modern womanhood. He could not care less about modern women. He said their attitude stinks. They're not fit. Well, they're fit, yes. They're feminine, they're friendly, but are they cooperative and submissive? No, not in these circumstances, no. I'm sure he was, but he doesn't really want that sort of responsibility. He doesn't want it. Doesn't care for it. And who are we to judge him? I know a lot of women would judge him, yes, but who are we to judge him? The fact of the matter is, he's a man who's decided his own rules here. Whether you love it or hate it, he's decided his own rules. He's decided his own path. And you know what? Ladies, hand over fist, are willing to fall for it also. So who's in the wrong? Because remember who's responsible for sex. Remember, it's women. Women are responsible for sexual relations, sexual openings. They're responsible for that. They're the ones who let men in. And all these women have let him in. So what does it say to these women? They are modern women. Back in the day, this wouldn't have been accepted. No, they were, but again, women back in the days were fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive. They would get on a man's plan, but a lot of these ladies wouldn't. But here's the thing. They would get on Nick Cannon's plan because of his money. If it was an ordinary guy, hell no. They wouldn't get on his plan. Hell no. Especially the way these women look. A lot of these women would still be single to this day if it wasn't for Nick. And we have to understand that, people. Women have set the bar here in this for this because they've accepted this sort of relationship. It's happened to not only him, but Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose recently, at his Christmas get-together, had both his wife and his baby mother at the same place. He said, if you want to deal with me, you guys work it out. And that's what they're doing. They're working it out. They're working it out. So it's a, reprisal of prior qualities and social mores, but a lot of women are taking the bait because it's Nick Cannon. But this is not new. This has been going on for time immemorial, ladies. And I'm sure as things go on, he won't be the only one. As will be revealed later, another billionaire. Well, Nick's a millionaire, but another billionaire has subscribed to this adage also. We'll find out later in Talk Live. Let's go.
Out here looking for love. Who is the family? It's the kids. You women ain't the family. family. It's the kids. I love the mothers of your children. I don't love none of y'all enough to marry you. I don't have time. And if I chose any of you women as the main woman, I'd be a disservice with you. But I don't see you in the traditional grow old together sense. I see you in the traditional, look, y'all one of my chicks sense. So here's what's happening. Men around the world are watching this, right? So they said, damn, Nick Cannon got a whole bunch of chicks.
Yeah.
And then when these women get tired, what do they want to do? I want a man who gonna love me for me. Okay, wait a minute. Think about it. Listen to what I'm saying. You get pregnant by Nick Cannon. Is that right? You knew that he was never going to be faithful. Is that right? Now you have the kid. You're getting a little bit of money in child support. Now all of a sudden you want a man to be with you and be faithful to you, although you had that decision at first. Look at that. And who's that guy gonna be? That guy is gonna be an everyday guy. That guy ain't gonna be no heavy. That guy ain't gonna be no Nick Cannon. He's gonna be a guy like you. That's what she's saying. And then what happens is though that women forget that guys are not that dumb. Not as dumb as you think. A lot of men are not as dumb as y'all think we are. And so what happens is a man's gonna say, wait a minute, you knew he wasn't gonna take you serious, right? Yes. Okay, got that. But you want me to take you serious. Yes, right. You a goddamn lie. Oh no, I'm not. Because why do I need to do that? Oh, because he Nick Cannon, but guess what? He can't give you what you need, right? So I want the same deal the last guy got. That's what I want. You was open to him having other chicks and money, all so all of this. Why do I gotta do that? Why do I gotta do that? Why is it?
Why indeed? Why? Now here's the negative aspect of this whole Nick Cannon saga is that he's created 10 plus baby mamas. Actually, well, Mariah had 2. Well, anyways, he had 2 and 3 with multiple ladies. But he's created a certain amount of baby mothers. He's created a certain amount. Now, the thing about it is, what these ladies are going to want in time is a man to take, even though, listen, it's Nick Cannon. He can take care of these kids. No doubt about that. But what these ladies want in time is a man to be there for them and not clean up the mess necessarily, but to be with them into their older age. They don't want to die alone. Sooner or later it's going to happen. But here's the deal. They are such high-profile ladies that no man of high value that they want is going to want them. Like O'Shea Duke Jackson just said, no high-value man is going to want them. There are off-limits of high-value men. You've had the highest value man possible. So no other millionaire or thousandaire or hundreds of thousandaire is going to come in and going to want to be with you because you are, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say this, Nick Cannon leftovers, period. You are leftover women, as they say in China. And if you're leftover women, that's a problem to most men because they know that being a stepfather is a bad deal. So no matter how much prowess you may have in terms of taking care of your child, I mean, he will not be a burden to many men, yes, but a lot of guys of high value that these ladies want will not want them. They're off limits of high value men, so they're going to have to choose an ordinary guy. Like literally an average guy. Now, if they want to be with an average guy, then all well and good. But even those guys have to realize that they have the scarlet letter upon them, these women. Outside of Mariah Carey, of course. Because Mariah is, I think she's worth much more than Nick Cannon. I think All I Want for Christmas basically, paid for itself. She doesn't have to work anymore. She doesn't have to make any new hits. She doesn't. No woman's a leftover woman. I will raise the way I raise mine. Yeah, of course. I mean, the way you raise your children. Absolutely, Chanel. Yes. And you chose wisely, and your women, your lovely children are not leftover women. I'm talking about the Nick Cannon's kids here. Nick Cannon's children. I mean, Nick Cannon's baby mothers. That's what I'm talking about. They are the ones who are going to be leftover women because they are the ones who chose this path knowingly and willfully. So forever and a day, they'll be known as Nick Cannon's baby mothers. And most high-value men wash their hands. Will wash their hands of them. And so they'll have to get an ordinary guy. But even then, the stigma is so great that they may not want to deal with them either. So these ladies may just have to be alone for a good amount of time. Sorry.
Important to do that. It don't make no sense. It's ridiculous, insane, crazy, all of that. Don't make no goddamn sense. Which it don't. Don't make no sense. So, what's happening is, guys are running from that. And that's why guys don't want to get married. Like, we'll talk about marriage and stuff like, who wants to clean up somebody else? Obsidian says, I refuse to be the cleanup man. Nobody wants to be the, think about this, right? You go to school, work all your life as a man. Don't nobody like you when you're coming up. Because I told you, most of y'all so ugly as it is. So you get some money, you go to school loan. Oops, guess what? I get a chance to be a husband of a woman who's a single mom. Listen to this. She's a single mom with somebody else's kid that guy doesn't have to do nothing to be with her. Nothing to be with her. Oh my God, I won the lottery. It sounds so exciting. Where in the hell do I sign up for this? Says what person that's thinking logically? Do y'all see how much kids cost? Then you dealing with baby daddy drama? Dealing with drama from your parents? Then what do the kids do? Y'all know where I'm going with this. You ain't my daddy. What? I ain't gotta listen to you. But when you want something, here you are asking me for it. Bro, take your ass on. Here you are asking me for it. Now you want to be nice because you want some new Jordans and all. Man, if you don't get your little, bro, you better get up my face. You better raise up out of here, little Pookie. I'm not gonna keep telling you. Better raise up out of her. Shout out to St. Louis. Better raise up out of her. That's why I'm over here in Africa right now. I ain't got time to deal with y'all. That's why I don't deal with y'all no more. I swear to God. I swear for God to 20 white folks. I don't have time.
He doesn't have time. Doesn't have time, people. There's nothing else you can say about that. He doesn't have time to deal with modern women and their choices. Nick Cannon doesn't have time in terms of giving over any of his fortune to these women. Any of it. He's, no matter what you think of Nick, and no matter how much of a gigolo you think he is, or whatever derogatory name you have of him, he's chosen his life, and you know what? He gets to keep that life because he's smart. He's realized that, you know what? I'm not giving a woman my fortune. And the only woman who I would even think of giving that fortune to, as will be said on Talk Talk Live, thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, is Mariah Carey, because she doesn't need Nick Cannon. All these baby mothers need Nick Cannon. Not Mariah Carey. Mariah, she's good. And he said himself, that's the only one I've married. You know why? Because she doesn't need Nick Cannon's money. She has the same, if not more than Nick Cannon's money right now. But these baby mamas, oh yeah, they'll be coming and claiming. But the fact of the matter is, they'll only be claiming for their children. They can't be claiming for themselves. Because they've already signed a deal that says, we are modern women and we will take the deal. And the flip side of that is that average men, even high-value men of a certain stature, they ain't taking that deal either. They don't want to be with a woman who is Nick Cannon's baby mom, no matter how they look. Because they'll be walking around saying, I'm Nick Cannon's baby mama. I'm with Nick Cannon's baby mama. Where's the notoriety in that? Where's the pride in that? Where is the joy in that? That you'll be known as the cleanup man. No man wants that. Men are getting more educated and they realize that there is no reward for being a stepdaddy. None. So we're going to get out of here, but thank you very much, O'Shea Jude Jackson, for talking about that. But let's get into this segment on the Dark Truth of Nick Cannon. Let's get into the reasons why. Let's get into his mindset and the reasons why Nick has chosen this path with all of these baby mamas, and they're all only too willing to give him what he wants. Let's go. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me just introduce this for a second. The dark truth behind Nick's 12 plus kids by Hello Yassine. Well-known channel in the space. 300,000 subscribers. Do subscribe to him. He had a little expose on the dark truth behind Nick Cannon's 12 plus kids. And we're going to get into it now on Talk Live. All right? Let's go.
Children with different women is very, very rare, especially at the level that Nick Cannon's at. The way Nick Cannon looks at relationships is going to dictate why he would even want to go through what he's going through right now. And looking through several interviews, his view is interesting, to say the least. He makes the case on T.I.'s podcast that marriage is made for women.
I believe relationships and mainly marriage is designed to please women.
He goes...
Yep. He's right. You'll never see a feminist group, a modern women group, outside of a family courthouse. You'll never see it. Because you know why? Because the game is tailored, the game of marriage and divorce is tailored for women to extract resources from men. It is gamed as such. And so, that is why we ask of gentlemen to sign a prenup if you have a sort of fortune that dictates you to protect it. A prenuptial agreement, I don't think it's honored in England to a certain extent, so you have to be very, very careful there. But in North American jurisdictions, yeah, definitely regarded. And if you're a man of means, a high value man, a man of means, and you're bringing in a woman who is not so, you have to broach that subject. Indeed, you have to, because again, he doesn't see. Nick Cannon's broke the code. He realized he doesn't see the need of bringing another woman into his life for him to. He doesn't have the bandwidth for it. He already said it. He doesn't have the bandwidth for this time. Doesn't have it. So he's going to have as many kids as he wants. He's going to be as successful as he wants. He gets to keep his fortune. Smart.
Goes on to expand on this in an interview with The Breakfast Club.
I mean, because that's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the ideas of you're supposed to have this one person for the rest of your life, and really that's just a classified property when you think about it. I mean, when you go into that mindset, if we really talking that talk, just the idea that a man should have one woman, we shouldn't have anything. I have no ownership over this person.
Disregarding the fact that a lot of...
Again, he rails against modern relationships that way. The one man, one woman concept is something that ladies have requested and men have fallen for hook, line, and sinker. They have. A man of means wouldn't fall for that, but at the end of the day, ladies dictate sex. So guess what? They get to dictate how modern relationships are run, especially when it comes to sex, especially when men demand sex. They say, if you're going to get sex, if you're going to have my sexual access, you have to be loyal to me. Unless you have Nick Cannon's money, then you can have greater access. But if you only have access for one person, that's for the average man, absolutely. But Nick, he's not an average guy. Doesn't have to adhere to that. Doesn't have to give to that. Nope. And as he said, it's a Eurocentric concept. because there are still polygamy honored in many African countries, many Asian countries. It's definitely a Eurocentric concept. And he's right. He's absolutely correct. It is a Eurocentric concept. It is a Western European concept. It is a North American concept. It is a developed world concept, which modern women, feminists, women's movement people have subscribed to, and men have had to follow because women are in charge of sexual access. So unless you have the power of a Nick Cannon to remove yourself from said parameters, that's what most men have to deal with, because not most men are Nick Cannon. There it is. There it is. A guy like Nick Cannon can literally say, "I don't want to deal with that." Any man who are worth high 6, 7, 8 figures can say, "You know what? Don't have to deal with you." Leonardo DiCaprio said it himself. He doesn't want to deal with it. He doesn't want to deal with that sort of thing. I only want women who are under the age of 25. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. That's all I want to deal with these days. Leonardo DiCaprio said it himself. He said, "You know what? Once they hit 25, don't want to deal with them anymore." And all the power to him, because you know why? He has the power. He has the status. He has the je ne sais quoi that women are looking for. And women are going to run hand over fist to give it to him, as they did with Nick Cannon. It's just that Nick wants to populate the earth, and Leo just wants to have fun.
Of what Nick Cannon said about this is misinformation, such as marriage being a Eurocentric concept, when there's plenty of historical-based evidence that marriage has existed in ancient civilization.
Here, hold on just a second. I just noticed there that this is this must be a modern concept, because if you see it on Talk Talk Live, you have a woman putting a ring on a woman's finger. You got a woman putting a ring on a woman's finger. Pink Mafia strikes again. I'm saying, let's go.
Historical-based evidence that marriage has existed in ancient civilization, both Eastern all the way until China, to ancient Africa, even down to ancient Mayan civilizations. Parts of the world that had no contact with Europeans were already practicing the concept of marriage. Another interesting point Nick Cannon makes is when he talks about ownership and property.
But there, again, they try to denigrate what Nick has to say, because clearly this is a blue pill individual. And, he's entitled to his opinion, so be it. But at the end of the day, he doesn't tell the truth that there are many, even though there are, different tribes throughout the world who practice, conventional marriage, which is one man, one woman. Conventional heterosexual CIS marriages. The fact of the matter is, there are still societies in the modern world who advocate for polygamist societies. Didn't bring that to light, but again, just saying.
Saying he doesn't own any of the women he's having children with. I wish one of the interviewers would push back and say how he would approach it if one of the women he's having children with consistently were to get pregnant by another male. Would he continue to impregnate her? Or would he feel a sense of ownership that she had only given him children and is supposed to be with him moving forward? Then there's...
Well, here's the deal about that. Most of these women are now high-profile women, so the scarlet letter's already cast upon them. But I understand that point. So at the end of the day, most of these women are going to go into any sort of relationship, and their Instagram, you check their Instagram, and quite simply, they're going to advertise the fact that the children that they have are Nick Cannon's children. So that's going to ward off a lot of men from them. The majority of men. A good majority of them are going to be warded off. And once we get that straight, then you'll realize that only a certain percentage of men are going to be wanted by, will be, allowed to be surrounded by these women. But the fact of the matter is, because they've had Nick Cannon, No one else is good enough. So a lot of these women will end up alone because they won't want to settle for less, as they say, right? It's a woman's prerogative not to settle for less. Right? Just saying. And that's, you know, that's modern developed world society's relationships in and of itself. The fact of the matter is these women chose to sleep with Nick. They realized the consequences of sleeping with Nick, and they went into it wide, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, eyes open. So don't punish maledom for the repercussions of said thing. These ladies made a decision, and they have to live by it now.
Here's the point of the father giving the daughter away for land. This is still practiced, more so as a dowry, and even in marriage culture in the West, it's the same thing, which is a very expensive ring, just marketed differently. How is a father supposed to know a suitor was serious about marrying his daughter and staying with her if he wasn't willing to give something valuable to begin with? Otherwise, there's no incentive, which leaves the daughter in a terrifying position, historically speaking, if she were to get pregnant and he would just leave, which is still a possibility, but at least she would have whatever he gave her as dowry to fall back on. Nick Cannon gets a little deeper on the T.I. podcast when he makes this statement.
I have a condition that stress puts me in the hospital, you know, on some lupus type shit. And to me, all relationships equal stress. I ain't never been in a relationship that wasn't stressful. Ever since I've been out of relationships, I haven't been back in the hospital.
You know what?
I believe this is the most important but least talked about reason for why Nick Cannon is behaving in the way that he's behaving and rationalizing it behind populating Earth or trying a new family structure. We've seen unorthodox family structures in Hollywood, namely Will and Jada Smith and how their children turned out. I don't think Nick Cannon is too concerned with that future because in his own words, he's more concerned with the now.
I don't think about the future anymore. I want to live in the moment in a way that this might be my last moment.
And by the looks of it,
Yeah. And let's break that down again. Nick doesn't want the stress of being with one woman because eventually you're going to face it. He doesn't want the stress. He wants to be able to live his life and do his thing because again he has a medical condition. I think it's Crohn's or kidney failure. I think it's sort of that sort of thing where, well, they'll get into this a little later, but he has a condition that could kill him via stress. So at the end of the day, he doesn't need to be around women giving him that stress. He doesn't want black women giving him that stress. Doesn't want black women giving him the stress. We talked about stress from black women from before and how it has made them one of the least dateable women on the planet, especially those from North America. And he loves black women. He said, I don't need that sort of stress in my life. I don't want any sort of issues. So if you're going to be with me, that's what Nick's saying. If you're going to be with me, then you got to realize that I'm not going to be with you. I'm going to be unfaithful. I'm going to be moving on. So let's just keep this transactional. Your womb for my sperm, and we have a good time. And believe me, this is going to be not only debated, but it will be followed. Someone else will come up and do the same thing Nick Cannon does, and because he's setting precedent here. He's setting modern day precedent by doing what he's doing today. By having these 12 kids. Someone else is going to come around and have a whole bunch of kids. And they're going to be vilified and ridiculed by the gynocracy. But at the end of the day, this is something that's existed since time immemorial. And modern women have to get used to it because modern women have made it so that they would give up their womb, give up their piety, give up their virginity, give up their loyalty to one man in order to be their baby father. And it's been like that since time, for a long time. So listen, how can we hate? He who has not sinned, cast the first stone. Just saying.
It seems like what he wanted to get popping right now, over 12 times, was the baby making process. In 2012, Nick Cannon was going through some severe health issues. He was hospitalized with kidney failure and documented some of it on his
kidney failure, as I
on
said,
his
yes.
website.
In the hospital.
Sir?
Hopefully, one of my last few visits. And, you know, it is what it is. Got the IV in the arm. But
We're gonna speed this up, but
you guys won't work out there. I was just in pain the whole time. I got there Thursday, tried to do a comedy show. Didn't go so well.
My immune system was the police, and my kidneys was some niggas. And the police thought my kidneys was in the wrong neighborhood. Like, they thought they was over there in Karma. Like, nigga, you do not belong here.
I could barely walk. I couldn't think of the right things to come out.
No matter what the plot was, they always solved it by dancing. Right?
I mean, I thought I was disguising it pretty well, but apparently the audience picked up on it. Didn't have the best set, you know.
Y'all say I'm trying to get my kidneys back, y'all.
Got booed off the stage. But that didn't even really matter because I was just thinking, like, dang, I gotta get through this pain. I gotta get through this pain. And for the rest of the time, I just kind of got through it, dealt with it, because I knew I had to do the Super Bowl corresponding on the game day. And I was just like, I just gotta get through this because if I cancel this, then so many people are gonna start speculating that there's so much more wrong. So I got through it. It was cool.
But the exhaustion he was putting
I want to play that for a reason. I want to play that for a simple reason, because this point in Nick Cannon's life made him very much akin to modern day gentlemen. He shared their pain in this instance. This was at a time when Nick's career wasn't going very well. He wasn't getting the movie roles. He wasn't getting that stardom that he once had. He tried comedy and he failed. And he was seen as an average Joe, a loser. And I think it was at this stage right here that Nick decided, hey, the minute I become famous, I'm going to do things my way. Not the conventional way, but do things my way. You know why? Because he has been crapped on for way too long. Absolutely crapped on. And he said to himself, you know what? If he ever gets to the stardom that he wishes he the stardom that he has today, he's going to do things his way. I think his failed career and his kidney issues and the abandonment from many of his family and friends, and also any sort of women in general. Now, I don't know if he was married at this time to Mariah, but it's that abandonment that was the making of Nick Cannon today. It was the making of Nick Cannon today. What you see now is because he went through this alone. Literally alone. And he said, the next time, if I ever get up, and if I ever get through this, I'm going to do things my way. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He said, you know what? All these ladies here, you're going to have to do things on my terms. I'm not going to do things on your terms. I'm not going to do things the Eurocentric way. Now, again, some people can see that as being wrong, but at the end of the day, this is, I believe, what made Nick Cannon Nick Cannon. Right here. When his kidneys were failing, he's at the dialysis machine, he had to work at these different venues, and he gets booed off stage, and no woman wants him, and he was going through it. He was going through the valley, the shadow of the valley of death. He was going through it right there. So now he's at the peak, and now he's doing things his way. And if he's not hurting anyone, who are we to judge? Who are we to judge?
Himself through lack of sleep and continued travel led him to be hospitalized again with a near-death experience.
They found 2 blood clots in my lungs. Really life-threatening. Unexpected, but you know, what you're supposed to do. It's a hurdle and an incredible health hustle, but we're gonna be alright. It's the last place you wanna be, man. Doctors tell you gotta rush you in, could die. I'm in this room by myself, just reflecting, thinking.
He had no idea what it was at this time. Originally, it was a kidney issue, but now something was wrong with his lungs.
What happens in this situation is that, there are a lot of reasons. You know, people that go on airplanes can get PEs because you sit, don't move around a lot, and the vena, usually in the legs, the blood clots, and when it clots, it can go up to your heart and be thrown out to your lung. And those clots just go like a bunch of goop there, and it can cause injury to the lung. And sometimes they're very big. You know, it can be worse. They can be fatal.
What the doctor described as a PE is short for pulmonary embolism, which is when a blood clot gets stuck in an artery that blocks blood flow to the lungs and can be fatal if not treated quickly. Nick Cannon would soon after find out that these weren't isolated health issues, but part of a condition called lupus.
I'll try to break it down for people and explain to them what lupus is. It's an autoimmune condition that I was diagnosed with in 2012. My immune system, which is built to protect me, is overactive. When it doesn't find any sickness in my body, it begins to attack my organs. And
So, there it is, people. There it is. I think the making of Nick Cannon was the fact that he was diagnosed with lupus. And I want you to get a picture of his mind here. Now, again, Nick was still a success. He was at Cedars-Sinai to get all this stuff diagnosed. So, he had a measure of success, but his career was at a low ebb. A very, very low ebb. And hello, Mel. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live on IG, YouTube. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, comment. So with Nick, it was a case of, hey, he's been diagnosed with lupus. He has kidney failure. His career's in the tank, literally. Even though he has certain gigs here and there, but he is not the star he is now. He's not the star he is now. And he found out that a lot of people abandoned him during this time. Abandoned him. And he was left to fight these battles alone. Alone. And he said he will not be held victim to modern dating, modern love, anything again, because he went through this dark period alone. He was booed off stage. His career is in the tank. He's got all these illnesses. And he said, you know what? When I make it big, when I get to America's Got Talent, when I get to The Masked Singer and all of its spinoffs, I'm going to live life on my terms. And that's what he's doing. Whether you like it or not. He's living life on his terms. And who are we to judge that? Because all these women had babies with him willfully. Very willfully, in fact. So, Do I feel bad for Nick Cannon? No, I don't. Do I have any vitriol for Nick Cannon? No, I don't. No, I don't. I literally don't. Because these ladies made a choice. They didn't have a gun to their head. They didn't ask. They weren't human trafficked. They went in there willfully and said, I'll have your children. I will be your baby's mother. I will be a baby mama for you. So why the vitriol? Why the backlash? He said that this is modern womanhood. So I'm gonna play by their rules. If modern women don't want to be with rich and successful guys and are willing to be baby mamas for them, as has happened from time immemorial, I'm gonna play by those rules because I was left here. Thank you for my man here. Let's see his name. Holy ass. Hello, Yassine. Well said there. But we're going to finally move on to the... just to nail it home here. The Nick Cannon, why he's never getting married again. Now, again, the Jays are on right now, and I think they're losing 3-2. So I just want to make sure that I've got all my ducks in a row here. So he appeared on Expeditiously about 3 years ago, and he was explaining the reasons why he quite simply wants all these children and why he'll never get married again. He'll never fall for modern womanhood and the institution of marriage again. Let's go into it.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What is something along your journey that you've had to unlearn?
Unlearn. Oh shit. I'll be honest, shit. To my behavior when it comes to women. Yeah, like and I had to unlearn. It's a whole new paradigm shift because I come from the culture of wanting to be pimping and wanting to be, just I'm glorifying the aspect of disrespecting women.
Well, okay.
That's what I had to. I'm still unlearning it because I'm gonna be honest. Because my music still using bitch, still using hoes, still But at the same time, we get coming into this world of like we embracing our queens. We getting back to that idea of uplifting the woman and understanding that the black woman is God. But it's a hard thing to unlearn when it's been perpetuated in from our music to our movies to just sexism in general, treating women like second-class citizens. That shit is difficult, man. Like because I love women. Like I love women the way Pac love women, the way Prince love women, the way Lenny Kravitz love women. I love like them. So there's an aspect where
That's what I'm saying.
obsessed
But I
with
think,
them.
see, now that's not what I was about to say. Is if what you're doing is done out of love, and it's endearing. I don't know how. Now, if you're obsessive, because you didn't say you had an obsession. Nick.
Nah, I do. Because
But
it's like
I think I get what you're saying because
I think I'll never be able to be with just one woman again. Like that's gonna be tough for me. Like I did it.
Okay. This is where I got to offer a bit of pushback. Slight bit of pushback. Oh, boy. Let me just get this comment. Nick Cannon should never be a role model. Well, he's going to be an example. Let me say that. He's going to be an example. And let me just, thank you very much for that comment, Chanel. And let me just get back here. I forgot to make this comment here. Wait a second. Is it here? And another candidate who quite simply wants to emulate said gentleman in his pursuits of womanhood. Right here. Here we go. Yes, this is what I wanted to get to. Now you can see this on Talk Live right now. Nick Cannon has a fan. Nick Cannon's a role model for somebody. And you know who that somebody is? He's quite influential. He's actually one of the richest men in the world. And that man is Elon Musk. You can see it right here on Talk Live. That man is Elon Musk. Yes, Mr. Tesla. Mr. SpaceX. One of the richest men on the planet. Has a fan of Nick Cannon. Right here. Yeah. He says here in his yes. Let me see if my man can dictate can roll this out here just quite quickly. Yeah. Hold on.
And Nick responds, right there with you, my brother. Congrats on your family. We must expand scope and scale. And Nick responds, right there with you, my brother. Didn't get his first big hit piece on him until his Twitter exchange with Elon Musk earlier this year. Doing my best to help the underpopulation crisis. A collapsing birth rate is the biggest danger civilization faces by far. And Nick responds, right there with you, my brother. Congrats on your family. We must expand scope and scale of consciousness for civilization to flourish and understand nature of universe. Consciousness resides most strongly in humans, therefore we need more people. Kids are worth it, if at all possible. I'm planning to increase child care benefits at my company significantly. Hopefully other companies do the same. Also, Musk Foundation plans to donate directly to families. Hopefully details to be announced next month. How could this quite innocent exchange, at the most comical, lead to someone spinning a narrative on both of these men? Well, hear it from Meghan McCain's own writing. This may be the creepiest tag team tweet thread in history. This is flat out weird. If you look at the timeline of the births of Musk's children, you'll see he had a son with singer Grimes in May 2020, then twins with Zillis in November 2021, and then a daughter via surrogate with Grimes in December 2021. So he apparently had simultaneous pregnancies going on. Cannon fathered 4 babies in a year's time and then jokingly referred to his manner of procreation as akin to a seahorse. If you don't know how a seahorse procreates, Google it. This impregnate the planet mentality is creepy and comes off like the actions of a cult leader more than an altruistic person who wants to expand their family and save the planet.
I would expect nothing less from a feminist woman than that statement. Nothing. Not a single thing. Not a single thing. Ms. McCain, who's a staunch conservative, Meghan McCain, Meghan McCain, a staunch conservative, whose belief in family vows and whatnot, is totally against men having things willy nilly. But again, you are part of the developed world. This is part of the gynocratic playbook. It can't be. A man cannot be having all these children willy nilly. It's irresponsible. Irresponsible.
Let's take her.
Let's go back it again.
Via surrogate with Grimes in December 2021. So he apparently had simultaneous pregnancies going on. Cannon fathered 4 babies in a year's time and then jokingly referred to his manner of procreation as akin to a seahorse. If you don't know how a seahorse procreates, Google it. This impregnate the planet mentality is creepy and comes off like the actions of a cult leader more than an altruistic person who wants to expand their family and save the planet.
This goes against the feminist narrative. One man, one woman. A gynocratic way of doing things. These men can support as many kids as they want. They can support as many children as they want. And you know what? You know who's responsible for them? No one, because they can afford to be responsible for them. What Meghan McCain here is explaining is the fact that this could reach epidemic proportions and totally thwart any work that the feminist movement has developed over time. Thwart it. All the work the feminists have done and the women's movement has done would be set back decades if this sort of behavior was allowed to continue. So she's going to admonish it because she comes from a school where it should be a man and a woman. And as she says, this impregnated planet mentality is creepy and comes off like the actions of a cult leader more than an altruistic person who wants to expand their family and save the planet. In other words, one man, one wife, children within that marriage. Bob's your uncle. The nuclear family. That's what she's trying to promote. So again, do I expect anything less from Ms. McCain? Absolutely not. Of course not. She doesn't want to see men like Elon Musk and Nick Cannon speaking in such tones. Absolutely not. That goes against the modern woman playbook altogether. For men to have their desires met, are you kidding me? You gotta go against that. Especially men who have the ways and means in order to bring this idea to life. But she wasn't there when these gentlemen... Now, I don't know about Elon Musk. Elon Musk came from money, so let me say that. But she wasn't there when Nick Cannon was near broke. She wasn't there when Nick Cannon was diagnosed with kidney failure and lupus. She wasn't there when they were at their lowest ebb and no woman cared for them. She wasn't there. But if it threatens modern relationships, oh yeah, get in on that. Slam that. I'm just watching, my man Vlad and Daddy's bobblehead day tomorrow. I gotta get there. So, this is a bit of pushback from modern womanhood. Absolutely. Absolutely. I expect nothing less from that. And she's entitled to her opinion, absolutely. But if a man and his women wish to have such an agreement, who are we to judge? Who are we to judge? An idea that's as old as time itself. This is nothing new, people, as I said. Nothing new. This is old news. So for Nick Cannon and Elon Musk to have such ideas, it threatens modern womanhood. It threatens feminism. Threatens it. For men to cut through the red tape and say, you know what? I'm going to have such and such and such and such and such woman, have my babies, and at the end of the day, not be obligated to them. It throws the whole idea of marriage and nuclear families on its head. It turns it right on its head. But it plays into modern womanhood. And it plays into the modern playbook, because modern women have said they would rather be, as I repeat, they would rather be baby mothers to a rich man than the wife of an average man. Athletes as well. Oh no, the one with athletes. That was yesterday. Chanel, you're late here. You're late to the party, babe. We did that yesterday. That was the Monday show. Monday show. Today's Nick Cannon. You got check it out on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. We did a 3-hour expose on that. Why athletes like white women. Go and look at it. It's actually it's near damn trending now. Oh yeah. Have a look at that. I go in depth on why black men like athletes. But we're here on Nick Cannon. We did that yesterday. We did about a near 3-hour show. That was a long 2 hours. 2-hour show. 2-hour show. My girlfriend, she definitely had issues with the length, but we had to flesh out the idea of why black athletes like white women. So you can see that there on Talk Live. So let's move on. So again, this idea of Nick Cannon goes against the modern female feminist playbook. Goes against it. So women are going to rail against it. Because you're returning to the old days where men as such can do this at a whim. But we're going to get back into that interview with Expeditiously and continue on with that. So let's continue.
Marriage, I was faithful in my marriage, but I
So you was faithful in your marriage?
Absolutely. The whole time I was married. But I knew, like, you know, and the reason why we split up, it had nothing to do with infidelity or nothing like that. But I knew I would never get married again. Once I stepped away from that, I was like, that construct is not designed for me.
Yeah.
And so, as much I gave it my all, and then, because even before that, I was like, I don't believe in marriage, but shit, it was Mariah Carey. Whatever she say, I'm with it. like, if she wanted to say we was
Did you hear that? He would only marry Mariah Carey. You know why? Because she had money. She had her own bank. Oh, yeah. And she had not so modern values on children and on family. Because she was a dedicated mother, despite the fact she was touring and such. These sort of things. But she saw this woman as a good mother. She was fit, she was feminine, she was friendly, she was cooperative, she was submissive, even though she had her money. And he said to himself that if I leave this marriage, I'll never marry another woman like that because they aren't out there. They're rare now. They are a rare breed. And if you find one, you better hold on to him. But at the end of the day, a man in his position, he knows that he's a target. He's a target. So he'll never find a woman like Mariah Carey because you know what Mariah Carey wanted from him? Little to nothing. Little to nothing. Because she was the breadwinner in that relationship. She was it. So he'll never get another woman like that. He'll never find another woman that he was attracted to like Mariah Carey. And he said it, he goes on record to say if he had to marry again, it'll only be to Mariah Carey. That's it. Because she's the only one who had everything he needed, but he knew that he was, and this speaks against him, a Rolling Stone. And so he said, you know what? I have to create a lifestyle, a family environment where all these women are my mothers, but I would not betroth my love to them because it's a losing game for this guy right here. It's a losing game. It's a losing battle. Because sooner or later, his way of life would lead him into divorce court. And what do they do to men in divorce court? Well, you know. His fortune's gone. He's got alimony payments because he's the breadwinner. And he's got child support. And quite simply, he doesn't have any sort of prenuptial agreement to go against these women. So he decided to make his own family, his own lifestyle.
Going to the moon. I'm like, let's go.
Well, you married well. You married
If I'm
well.
going to marry somebody, I'm going to marry her.
Yeah, it don't look like you've looked back since.
Right. Exactly. So, but I just know, like, even in that thing, like, I know I'll never be in a relationship again. And, like, I know I'll never get married again. So, I'm like, I'm trying to
So you
figure that
telling
shit
me?
out.
So what about like the poly lifestyle?
Even, like, I respect a polyamorous situation, but me personally, that's too much of a construct with too many rules in it. Like, I don't want to answer to nobody. I don't want 5 or 6 that I don't want. I want to be by my goddamn self. Like, and like,
Okay, you want to be by yourself?
yes,
All right.
forever.
You sure?
Man, I got lonesome tattooed on my neck. I'm good.
You sure?
He's got lonesome tattooed on his leg, people. And he knows why he doesn't want a polyamorous relationship. Because he'll have to be responsible for all those women. He knows it. He has to be responsible for them financially. And spiritually. And being the man of the house. He's a high-value man. So he's going to have to be responsible for all these ladies. And the fact of the matter is he wants his freedom. He doesn't want the stress. Remember we talked about that earlier. He doesn't want the stress of being responsible for all these ladies and all these children. And having to, have sex with one or another. He just wants the freedom to say, I can come over and have sex with you, but you can take this baby and, we can move on with things. Because it's less stressful for him. It's less stressful. And plus he has the wherewithal to do it. And he has a lot of pretty ladies who are there to do it. Now let me just see if I have pictures of these women in and of itself. Because I don't think you understand. I don't think you know. Nick Cannon baby mothers. Yeah. Let's see these ladies here. Ah, fantastic. Let me see if we got any images here. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's go to page 6 right now. All Nick Cannon's visit. All of Nick Cannon's 6 baby mothers. Now he has 6 baby mothers. One being Mariah Carey. So let's discover them quickly here. We're just gonna run down here. Again, this is 2023. Here we go. Again, Mariah Carey. That's the name brand one. That's the one that that started it all. Then we had Golden Sagan. Yes, that was number 2. And with whom she had 2 children. Let's see. Yes, indeed. After spending with Carey, Cannon and model Brittany Bell got together and dated on and off before welcoming their son Golden on February 21st, 2017. Right? Let's see. And then they had another kid named Powerful Queen. Okay, there you go. That's an interesting one there. So they had Golden Sagan and a Powerful Queen. Then we move on to let me see, Zion Mix, Abby Delarose. She was number 3, and you can see this all live on Talk Talk Live. And again, Abby Delarose had 2 kids with Nick. Zion Mixolydian. Okay. Zion Mixolydian and Zillionaire. I like that little play on words there. Zillionaire. It's true. It's 2 words. Zillionaire by Abby Delarose. And let me just get on to that. She had her second set of twins. Oh, twins. They were twins, actually. June 2021 with Zion and Zillion. His 5th and 6th children. And then she moved on to Alyssa Scott and had one with her. And on June 23rd, 2021, sorry. Alyssa Scott and Cannon welcomed their son Zen. Oh, that was the one who passed away, unfortunately. And my condolences to the family for that. Again, not nice to lose a family. But again, he moved on quite swiftly with Bree Teasy. With their baby Legendary. This was in January 2022. And that was number 6. Let me see. Yeah, their first son together. I think that was number 6, I think. Okay, now we're moving on to 7. Cannon shocked his followers in September 22 with the surprise reveal of his 9th. Oh, sorry, his 9th. That was number 8. This is number 9. With Lanisha Lacole. The duo named their baby Onyx. So Onyx was that was in September 2022. Oh, but it continues. We moved into 2023, people, and he went back to Brittany Bell, and he had a 3rd baby. Bell gave birth to Cannon's 3rd baby together, his 10th, September 2022, after 48 hours of excruciating pain and life-risking danger. So Rise Messiah Cannon arrived. So he's had 3 children with one lady. I think she holds the record now, because I think no. I think Mariah has 3 herself. I believe she has 3. Let me just confirm that. No. She only has 2. She only has the 2. That's right. That's right. The fraternal twins on April 30th, 2011, the fraternal twins of Moroccan and Monroe. Yes, indeed. That was the first 2. So she holds the record now. Brittany Bell. He definitely has a type. He definitely likes Brittany Bell, so he gave her 3. And she was willing. And again, And here is number 11. Beautiful Zeppelin Cannon. Beautiful Zeppelin Cannon by Abby De La Rose, again. Her 12th. I think it's her, let me see, Nick, 12th child. Their third child together. So she had 3 with Abby De La Rose. 3 with Brittany Bell. 2 with let me see here. With Abby De La Rose had 3 with Abby De La Rose, because we just saw that. 3 with Abby De La Rose, 2 with with Mariah Carey, 3 with Brittany Bell, and now I believe 1 with another person. Yes, indeed, Lanisha Cole. Lanisha Cole. So the he got into the 4th. So this is number 12, Halo Marie Cannon. And that was born December 14th. Their daughter, Halo, December 22nd, 1 month after their son, Zen's death. So he went back to the woman with whom he had a miscarriage, Ms. Alyssa Scott, and gave her a baby. So that's the 12. 3 with Mariah, 3 with Brittany Bell. No, 2 with Mariah, 3 with Brittany Bell, 3 with Abby De La Rose, 1 with Lanisha Cole, and 1 with, indeed, yes, what's it now? Zen, I think it was Zen, Zen's with Alyssa Scott. So there we go. Yeah, the 12 kids. 12 kids. We just had a comment here. If they don't want to get, let's see, women need to have condoms in their in their hands if they don't want to get pregnant. These women wanted to get pregnant, Chanel. That's what you're misunderstanding. This wasn't by chance. These women went back once, twice, 3 times a child with Nick. They didn't care. So a lot of these women are written off the map, especially the one who had 3 kids and 2 kids. They're not having any sort of relations with any man, really. Of any worth, really. They're off the map. They're off. Those are Nick's kids. Those are Nick's women. Those are Nick's women. So let's count out Nick's women, because nobody else is having. Mariah Carey, Nick's woman, and she never had a significant relationship since. Brittany Bell, Nick's woman. Abby De La Rose, Nick's woman. Alyssa Scott, Nick's woman. Bray Tiesi, Nick's woman. And again, Lanisha Cole, Nick's woman. All of them Nick's women. And as you say, I choose my husbands. Well, you can choose all your husbands all you want, Chanel, and I'm glad that you do. But at the end of the day, the old saying goes that women decide who they want to sleep with. They have hegemony over that. It's men who decide who they want to spend their lives with. They're in charge of relationships and marriage. Maybe in your case that is different, but in most cases that's the case. Okay, so we're gonna get back into it because we just want to know the baby mothers in these instances, and so now we know. We know 5 baby mamas, 12 children. Let's go.
I don't have what you have. You got a beautiful situation. You got a queen that y'all go through it and rock children. Like I got kids. I got kids by different women.
5.
Right?
5 on it. 5 on it.
I feel like, and I want more kids, but
believe me, you keep it up, you're gonna have them. You believe me? You keep it up at the rate you're going, you have no problem.
I'm trying to figure this shit out.
You'll be caught up, man. You'll be caught up in no time. Like, I mean, what is it that you're trying to figure out exactly?
Well, let's let it be said that my man has no D control. So wow. Luckily I do, but this man don't. Let's. But should he really? If he can have as much D control as he wants, quite simply because he wrote his own ticket. Let's go.
I don't want to be responsible for nobody else's happiness. Like I'm still trying to figure out my shit. I'm still trying to get my shit together. And I ain't gonna get too deep into this shit, but the fact that I have a condition that stress puts me in the hospital. You know, on some lupus type shit. And to me, all relationships equal stress. I ain't never been in a relationship that wasn't stressful. Whether I'm put.
You heard that? That's what modern relationships brings. It brings stress. To the lucky few, it doesn't. But for most, it is stressful. It is stressful. It ain't easy. And with a man who has lupus and a kidney failure, he doesn't need that stress, as I said. So he decided to move forward with this plan, and quite simply, it's working for him. Who are we to judge?
Putting the stress on myself, or whether she putting the stress on me. So I'm like, ever since
gonna be some of that.
Ever since I've been out of relationships, I haven't been back in the hospital.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
But this is a fucking logical explanation. Honestly, I have no.
It is a logical explanation. Are you getting insight as because again, all we hear these days is how bad Nick Cannon is for having all these children, how irresponsible. No, he's not irresponsible. He's in charge of all these kids, and all these ladies are wearing a smile on their face. Smile. They're like this in all their pictures because they know they're being taken care of. The feminists don't like it. The feminists definitely don't like it, but Nick is winning. Nick has bucked the trend. He has gone against the developed world, Western Europe way of the Western world way of relationships, which is one man, one woman. He's gone against it. He's gone against it. And none of these ladies are dragging him into court. None of them. None. None of them. Because they have their own, and Nick is taking care of their children, and in turn, taking care of them. So it's a working relationship. Whether you like it or not, it works, ladies. It works. It actually works. Do you hear any of these ladies talk out of turn? Do you hear any of these ladies bicker or are disgusted at the fact that he's doing this to these women? No, these ladies are content. They love Nick Cannon for giving them 1, 2, 3 babies. All 5 of them. All of them love Nick. That's one thing that ladies don't understand and they don't really talk about. It's the fact that all these ladies love Nick. They love Nick. Everybody hates Chris, but everybody loves Nick. Nick at night. This is what I'm getting at, people. This is what I'm talking about. Shout out to Annette. Shout out.
I wouldn't expect you to fucking go to the hospital for love.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So I'm like, look, I'm just working on me. I'm trying to be the best me possible. I love women. I love various women, and they understand they understand how I move.
I think that's the key to it all. You know what I'm saying? To just understand it.
Yeah, and honesty up front, being solid. Like, look, this is how I move.
So out of all of the women,
There it is. He announced it up front. Ladies, they wouldn't have access to their they wouldn't have access to them if they didn't agree to it. You're in charge of sex, ladies. You're in charge of it. And so they allowed my man Nick Cannon to go back again and again and again. And I'm sure if they wanted a 4th baby, they'll give it to him too. Even Mariah would. But Mariah's a bit older now. She's 50, so she can't really get that done. But all them the younger girls, oh yeah, they'll give Nick whatever he wants. And no stress. None. No stress. Believe me, this is going to be, and here's the thing, this is going to be followed for a while. This is the new trend these days, ladies. Get used to it. Where those men who can afford to will just want to have babies with these mothers. They take any sort of financial compensation from said gentlemen and make sure they're kept in good stead. And everything's copacetic. No stress for Nick. No stress for Nick. He said himself he hasn't been to the hospital yet. None. Hasn't been to the hospital since this sort of family planning. And yet, feminists and conservatives rail against Nick. But the family doesn't. Just saying.
All the wilding out girls.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
Oh, or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Or maybe not.
Yeah, I know.
But out of all of them that have an honest understanding of where they stand in Nick Cannon's life, out of all of them,
Yeah.
it's never one of you like, you know what? Maybe you should stay another week.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm still a hopeless romantic. Just because I don't believe in relationships don't mean I don't believe in love.
Right.
So I care deeply for a lot of them. Like I have a lot of love to
I'm
give.
sure they care deeply for you too, Nick.
But and I have situations. I have certain people that I'm like, yo, I want this person to be in my life forever.
Okay.
But I don't want to sign no paperwork with them.
Oh, I did.
You know what I'm saying?
I did.
Like why we got to bring the government into this? I don't fuck with them already.
You know what I'm saying? Now I mean,
You heard that? That's the reason why he doesn't want to be with these ladies, any of these ladies, because he doesn't want to have to be on the bill for any sort of divorce proceedings, alimony, child support, or whatever with these ladies. Because they know who Nick is. They know how highly successful he is. And he doesn't want to give them their windfall. He doesn't want to give them half of his fortune. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. He's smart that way. Sorry, ladies. You're not fooling this guy. You're not fooling Nick Cannon. He's going to have babies his way and not fall victim to the family court system. Not going to do it. Won't do it. And no matter how much you try to shame him, same insults, guilt, need to be right. R.I.P. Godfather. You're not going to have the victory here. Because he's happy what he's doing. He's happy. Modern women aren't going to browbeat him, not going to beat him down. Actually, they're agreeing with him. They want to be the baby mothers. They want to be his... Let's call it spade a spade, his concubines. And he doesn't need a paper to create these relations here, see? And the fact of the matter is, yes, indeed, the whole, black female baby mama thing is real and it's live and it's actual and it's factual. But the fact of the matter is, the one thing that we're forgetting, ladies, is the fact that all of his baby mothers are black. They may be light skinned, yeah, okay, but there's a degree of black in them, yeah. So he supports black families. Right?
I think this makes a lot of sense, but women are going to.
Yeah, they're gonna be. But at least I'm honest.
This is true.
And the thing is, like, I understand because I'm gonna put it out there. I believe relationships, and I wish we had some women in here because it's just a bunch of testosterone going.
Nah,
back and
man,
forth.
it's all right. It's all right.
But I believe
We're speaking from our perspective.
Yeah, from our
They just
No, you don't. Yeah, exactly. You don't want women in this conversation. You do not want women in this conversation because they are going to have at you. Just like some of the ladies here tonight on Talk Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me, Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. They're going to have at you, Nick. They're going to have at you. They do not like you. They do not like this new / old school arrangement you have here. They don't like it. They don't like it. Because it goes against the feminist women's movement narrative. Goes against it. It cuts against it. Meghan McCain, I've already revealed the quote to you. She doesn't like it one bit. Why? Because this man is not being locked up by their rules. He's not. He doesn't cater to what has been fed to men for the last 50 years is that if you are going to step out of a relationship and have children, and you're going against the cheating rules, guess what? See you in court. Where the courts have stacked the deck heavily against men, to a point where men lose their fortunes that they work so hard to build. There it is. Going against the trend. And who are we to judge?
Soak it up. Yeah. From I got plenty of shows where it's just women and all they do is talk shit about us. So come on, what were you saying?
I believe.
Did you hear that? There are shows. T.I. broke it down so eloquently. There are shows in which ladies will vilify a Nick Cannon for having these children. And what T.I. is saying is, I won't buy into the gynocracy. It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it. I'm not going against the bro code. Nope. Speak freely, speak openly. I will not bring women into this conversation because I know if I do, I won't hear the end of it. We won't hear the end of it. Won't hear the end of it. Have you ever noticed when shows like The Talk or shows like The View or shows like The Soup or any of these ladies' talk shows, when they talk of Nick Cannon, they speak of him in bad terms, with bad tidings? See, how dare he have all these children and be so irresponsible? How dare he? Why is he allowed to have all these children? Because these ladies have given him license to. Sorry. Modern women have given him license to do what the hell he wants. If he didn't want to do it, he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to sign up. Didn't have to sign up, right, ladies? Did they? No. But 5 ladies did. And they liked it so much, they did it twice. They did it thrice. Three. They did 3 times. And I'm sure if they wanted to, they'd go back for a 4th. So blame them, not Nick. Because Nick told them the rules, and they said, what position would you like me in? Would you like my legs over my head? Would you like it on the couch? Would you like it upstairs? Would you like it in the kitchen? Just inseminate me. Do it. Just inseminate me. I can't wait. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Yes, we are discussing controversial topics like this because it needs to be said. Because, unfortunately, female-led media would not allow for said discussions to happen because it goes against all those ideals that feminism have worked years to destroy. But there's a renaissance, people, led by Nick Cannon here, as we have featured, and also a man like Elon Musk, one of the richest men in the world. Oh, yes. Another guy, Mick Jagger. Mick, same thing. Remember, Mick was doing this in the 60s. He was doing it then. Mick was doing it then. He has about 6, 7 kids. Mick. He was doing it then. He has about 4 or 5 baby mothers. There are hundreds of high-value men, entertainers, actors, musicians who have done this ad litem. And nobody's batting an eyelash. But because a black man's doing it, you get my point?
Relationships and mainly marriage is designed to please women. Just because that they get the dress,
They get the ring, all of that stuff. All their life, they're talking about, getting the husband,
It's
in
the
house
fantasy.
with the,
It's their fantasy.
Yeah, like I'm never.
We're just there.
Yeah, we just show
Yeah,
up.
we're
Like
just
even at
there.
my wedding, I was a part
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
wedding.
mine too, yeah.
I just told you, tell me where to stand, where to go.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll repeat what this nigga say, and it's
Right. Now and paying for the wedding.
Yeah.
Is a whole nother like this. I've never seen something that was so much of a racket. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it's almost like once they got you in and you set the date, all the vendors, whether it's the venue, whether it's
They've
the
created
chef,
industries.
whether the dressmaker is, and it gets to a point where it's like, that's how much it is.
Yeah,
You gonna pay for it.
yeah, and because you wanna
You
stunt
gonna
for the
pay
woman
for
you
it.
love.
You mean to tell me you gonna do that to her?
Yeah.
If you don't pay me 5 times the motherfucking retail price, you
I'm
gonna
gonna
do
tell
that
you
to her?
something. This was so cold. I'm gonna tell you what. I'll start with the ring, right?
Now, next time though, if you ever do it again,
I'm never doing it.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you ever do it, instead of paying for a wedding, man, just buy a new house and have it in the backyard.
Well, now,
'Cause
one
that's
thing
what I wish I did.
Mariah Carey is an entrepreneur and a brilliant businesswoman. Our wedding was on her island in the Bahamas at the house.
Gee.
How smart is that? This guy just keeps getting smarter and smarter. He said the only woman I'll marry is a rich woman, and that woman is back in the day Mariah was something. So I'll have a marriage with you because you know why? Because you can afford, because you're that modern woman who can afford to have children and family and not ask for any piece of me. None. No piece of me. And he was so smart that he had the wedding on her island. So what expense was it to him? Nick Cannon ain't stupid. Nick Cannon is not stupid. Non, pas ça. Il n'est pas stupide. To my French people out there. Ça va? Bien? Oh yeah, you know Nick is ça va bien. Especially when he's thinking, the only person I'll marry is Mariah because she can afford this stuff. The rest of these girls out here, they want to take from me. They don't want to give to me like Mariah did. They want to take from me. And I would not, and Nick will not give them the satisfaction. You know what? Bravo, sir. Bravo.
And she filmed it, and she took a music video budget to pay for the wedding.
Damn.
So hats off to her. That was a very brilliant
You
woman.
might need to call her and see if she want to get married again.
If I wanted to do it again, it would be to her.
You know what I'm saying? Now, that makes sense.
Did you just say that? Did you hear that? If he's going to get married, it'll only be to Mariah. Why? Because she can afford any sort of expense in that wedding. Any sort of expense in that relationship. Nick Cannon would not have to work again if he was with Mariah. Because all I want for Christmas paid for a family of how many for years and years and years. And he doesn't have to work, but, you know, he's a man. He understands. He got to do what he got to do. You know? Men aren't men if they live off the travails of their woman. Simple as that. Especially a high-value man such as that. So he said, you know what? That's the only one I'll marry, but you know what? I got to be me. I got to do me. And you don't hear any of these ladies complaining.
So if you would get married again, it'd be Mariah.
It'd be Mariah.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Now, no, but I'm gonna tell you what, like, this even fucked me up because I was in my 20s when it happened, and again because I was a hopeless romantic, I was always getting engaged because I wanted to be married. So I got engaged to this one chick, right?
Okay.
Went to Jacob, spent it all,
Huh?
everything I had.
Why?
Bought for the ring. I bought this chick a ring.
Everything you
Well, not
had?
everything I had, but it was like it was up there. There's a couple $100,000 on a ring.
That's too much.
Yeah, and you know, cause I'm trying to stunt. I proposed in Times Square.
Oh, my God.
I done rented jets and Rolls Royce. Well, the Rolls was mine, but either way, it was still like I was trying to stunt. I had the cameras there.
But why?
Exactly. Well, it turns out that she wasn't the one. So, and as you know, this man, fine haberdashery and jewelry.
Yes.
Jacob, the jeweler at the time, was the hottest jeweler, and he had a certain design. When he designed.
Well, we're going to move that on a little bit further, just quickly.
passes, you know, a couple different chicks in between.
Did you save the ring?
No, I gave it.
You gave it back. Got your money.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
all of that good stuff. So then it's time to propose to Mariah. I gotta spend more money. Even Mariah literally tells me,
No, you don't.
no. This is what she tells me. She was
What'd she
like,
say?
I seen the little ring that you gave that girl.
How she see it?
It was everywhere.
It was
People
Instagram and
magazine.
shit?
Not back then, but it was like People Magazine, and it was a moment.
Shit.
So I was like, I go back to my guy Jacob. I was like, I gotta go bigger than what I did before, Jake. Like that one, this one, it gotta be up there. Again, push all my chips in. It's all I got. Cause this is really all. I'm 28 at the time.
Double down.
Every wildin' out check, every drum line check, gigolo check. This all I got, Jake.
Yeah.
Like, and this time it's. I think this one was at least. I think this was 16 carats total.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But the ring, because Jacob designed it, looked very similar to the layman's eye as the ring from the other.
Why'd you do that?
Jacob did it. I did. But this one had pink diamonds on it because it's Mariah.
Okay.
But everybody was like, oh, Nick just wouldn't recycle that ring, and that was the story. That was like the first story after the wedding. Like,
Damn.
Nick
Okay,
Cannon
let's just speed this up quick.
Didn't have enough money.
Then we
so
can
he
sum up
recycled the
tonight.
one engagement ring
Well,
and
that's
get the
fucked
ring.
up.
Fucked up. That's how my marriage started.
Damn.
So like when
That
you talk
sucks.
about weddings and stuff, like I'm trying to do my own. And luckily, it all panned out pretty well, and I started
Yeah.
making a whole lot of money.
Yeah,
at
you
that
did
point.
great. You did great.
but to start it off, like I was just trying to be the best. This Mariah Carey. She
Sure.
she could buy all of. She put wedding rings on every finger if you want to.
Now let me pick up together. Nick's like, okay, so I got my toothbrush here.
Yo, when I tell you, I went all in tip. Like
Man.
it was one of those things. But I mean, she was
Man,
my dream girl.
as you should.
Yeah, and she
Why
was
wouldn't you?
She was talking the same talk I was talking, like, cause I was like, yo, I don't really believe in marriage, but there's something that we got here that I will vibe with this.
You know, I can get used to this, Mariah.
Fact, that's
I can
all.
get used to this.
And she was like, I'm with it too. And the crazy thing, we spoke so many things into existence. From like the first time we kicked it for a weekend, and we was talking about everything. Like, yo, how crazy would it be if we had a boy and a girl?
Okay, let's move on.
Things where she always gonna be solid with me. She always gonna be somebody that I love, and we got some beautiful kids out there. The whole thing.
Man, I mean, I think it was a beautiful time.
Okay, I think we'll end it right there, people, because they are just going into a few things there. But yeah, let's sum up. Let's wrap things up here because again, it's 9:53 near 10 o'clock. So let's just wrap things up. What we have right here. On to the full count. So here's the deal. Mariah is the sorry, I got off on a tangent there. So dealing with modern women and Nick Cannon, the fact of the matter is, why modern women are upset. I mean, modern women have caught a double-edged sword here. Not only have they taken the conditions of Nick Cannon arrangement to have children with him, but also they vilify him for doing it. Certain modern women are fully with him having these sort of kids in the way he does, and certain women are not down with that because that's the significance of living in a modern society. Some people are going to agree with you, some people are not. But the fact of the matter is, feminists, modern women, period, gynocratic ideas are not going to be one to favor what Nick Cannon is doing. And I very much believe that he will impregnate these ladies once again. He'll do it. Why? Because, they're down with the program. Simple as that. And the sooner we get to realize that, the better. Ladies. Now, again, this goes against the modern day womanhood idea of one man, one woman, one family, the nuclear family and such. But who are we to judge this idea that has been in existence? This is not a modern thing. this is something that's been in existence from time immemorial. This has always been with us. Always. Literally always. And the sooner that a lot of women get to know that, the better. And understand that, the better. Because at the end of the day, who's he hurting? He's not hurting anybody. He's not hurting anybody. He's not hurting modern women. He's not hurting feminists. He's not hurting anyone. He's living life by his own terms because he can afford to. He can afford to. He can afford to have multiple wives, multiple girlfriends. Sorry, no, he doesn't do the wife thing. Smart. He can afford to have multiple girlfriends and multiple children with those girlfriends. This is something that goes on in polygamous marriage as well, but the fact of the matter is he doesn't have the headache of having to sign a paper and be obligated to this woman, any of them, and if one of them wants to, exact some sort of retribution on him, what are they to do? I've been paying for the child. They're well taken care of. You're well taken care of. What's to object to? And that's why you don't hear a lot of women speak on the subject. And especially Nick's women. You don't hear them speak on the subject. Because they're all wives in all but name. Simple as that. They're all wives but in name itself. And Nick likes it that way. He's gone through health issues that have made his life, in certain circumstances, a depressed hell. And he's come through it, as my mother would say, bat in hand. And you know what? If he's not hurting anybody, who are we to judge? And he's allowed to do what the hell he wants. So, if feminists want to come after him, let them come after him. At the end of the day, not only are you coming after him, you're coming after the women with whom he has had relations. The women who have allowed access to their private parts and their womb. So they're as much to blame as he is, but because he's high profile, he's an easier target. But we must understand that this is how modern women want things set up these days. They'd rather be a side chick to a high value man than the wife of an average guy. And Nick Cannon's a high value man. Whether you like it or lump it. And modern women, and more are going to agree to this idea. They're going to do it. So get ready, people. Elon's on the train, and I'm sure many more will be as well. And all we can do is stand aside and either get on the train or watch the fields and the valleys and the world go by. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We're going to sum it up right here. Another 2-hour event on Nick Cannon versus modern women and how Nick Cannon is winning. I think I'm going to rename the show on that. I'm going to call it Nick Cannon is winning. How Nick Cannon is winning. And I'm going to do that later on today. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Yes, my Jays are up 6-3. They were down 3-0 at one time. They're up 6-3, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully I'll be able to, I wish to get down there tomorrow night because it is Vladdy Guerrero bobblehead day. Ooh, that should be nice. I do love a Vladdy Guerrero bobblehead, so I want to get down there for that. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Another home run! Woo! Lovely, jubbly, and that's my man Alejandro Kirk, Starship Blue Jay. So Jays are flying high, 9-3 now. So I'm gonna get out of here and watch the rest of that show. Thank you, Emil, for joining me. Thank you for all the ladies who joined me tonight, including Chanel, and also a few others who have made their comments, including yes, indeed. Nick M3 Photography, and a few others as well. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. It was a really lively subject tonight on Nick Cannon, how Nick Cannon is winning, and how we are all bearing witness to that. And we're going to be back on Thursday night. Thursday night, we're back on Talk Talk Live. We'll have a new concept, new show up and available. So thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and the numbers are going up. We're going to be putting up some, some shorts on TikTok, on YouTube, on, Instagram. We're going to be doing it. Do it. So, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you Thursday night. And if you talk, walk the walk, I'm going to watch my Jays walk the walk as they've been doing out tonight. I think they've hit 3 homers tonight. I think 3 or 4. But good night from Toronto. And to my people on YouTube, thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. We are going to reorganize this subject, and we're going to call it How Nick Cannon is Winning. How Nick Cannon is winning. And we're going to enjoy, and you can enjoy this right now as soon as we go off air. And again, more shorts are going to be involved in this. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com.